Hey guys, Loons here. Today I'm going to show you how to properly spec as a Retribution Paladin in PvP or arenas. So here we go. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to put 3 points in Crusade right here. It's pretty much going to be the bread and butter for all of your damage. So your Crusader Strike, Hammer of Righteous, Templar's Verdict, damage is increased by 30%. It's pretty much the most important part. Another thing pretty good for BGs is when you kill a target, you actually kill them, like let's say a Hammer of Wrath or something, you gotta get a KB on it. Your Holy Light's pretty much gonna give you a 300% more potency, which is gonna kind of be like a Warrior's Victory Rush, but you kind of have to cast it on yourself. No big deal, not too bad. Next talent's gonna be Improved Judgment. It's gonna increase the range of your judgment by 20 yards. Kind of self-explanatory. Pretty good. Should get it. Next up, I put in 3 points in Rule of Law. Now here, people kind of have a controversy. Some people put 2 and put 2 in Rule of Law, and they put 2 in Guardian Saver. I like to put 3, but it's really just what you like. Like right now, I currently don't need a longer hand of freedom on my arena partner because the kills usually take about 5 seconds. And this one lasts about, let's see, 8 seconds? Perfect timing. So let's move on. Pursuit of Justice, you need 2 points in. 100% chance to gain a charge of Holy Power when struck by a stun, fear, or mobilize effect. And it gives your speed increase by 15%. Pretty good. So it means you get to catch up to things a little bit faster if they don't have a run speed increase as well. So, not pretty good. Next up, I put 2 points in Art of War. Gives me a 14% chance to make my exorcism instant, free, and cause 100% additional damage. It's pretty good when you're stacking up burst and you have an Inquisition up for 30 seconds. Next point I put in for a Communion. Your auras increase your party and raise damage dealt by 3%. In addition, you also get 2% additional damage, so that total is going to be 5%. Also, when you Judgment, you get the Replenishment buff, which gives all of your party members, well, at least less than 10, or up to 10, and equal to 1% of their maximum mana per 10 seconds, which lasts for 15. So that's about 1.5 mana per Judgment, or the full duration. Next point is Long Run of the Law. Your Judgment has a 100% chance to increase your movement speed by 45% for 4 seconds. Only on targets at or further than 15 yards from you. So pretty much like a Warrior's Charge, but a little bit more bland. Skip Divine Storm unless you are really into RBGs, but I am not. So, if you're doing arenas and you just want to have some extra points, don't go into Divine Storm. It's not a good thing. Next up, I go into Sacred Shield, pretty much a required talent for any Retribution Paladin. Pretty much when you go into 30% health, you gain the Sacred Shield effect. It pretty much absorbs around 43k damage and increases the healing received by 20%. Now, this is really important, especially when you're ready to heal yourself, paired up with Last Word. This will help you substantially when it comes to using Word of Glory on yourself, and it might actually save you from dying. So let's move on. Next point, Sanctity of Battle. Again, another controversy. Some people don't like going to this because they think haste doesn't really do too much for the Ret Paladin with the Crusader Strike, but I like to use it just because it makes my combat a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker, and it kind of works for BGs and RBGs when we have a time warp. So again, you don't have to get it, but I get it, and whatever. Next up, Seals of Command, another required talent you need, because your Seal of Righteousness, Seal of Truth, and Seal of Justice now also deal 7% weapon damage when triggered. So pretty much, you're going to have Seal of Truth on all the time. So why not have an additional damage? Next up, I use 3 points in Sanctified Wrath. Now I know, guys, this got nerfed up the ass this patch. With it used to be 60%, now it's 6. I know, it kills me too. But you still gotta get it for your reduced cooldown on your burst, pretty much because you need it. And that's what are we gonna do? Anyways, Selfless Healer, 2 points. Pretty much is gonna make your Word of Glory a hell of a lot quicker. By 10%, by 10 seconds. Also, it increases the potency of its heal by 50%, and it gives you 4% more damage each holy power when used on a target in a party. Next up, Repentance. Pretty much what we need are CC. Pretty much when you're lining up a kill, you use the Repentance on the healer, or pretty much something that would prevent the kill, like a Psychic Scream or a Polymorph. Pretty good to use against pretty much anything that will heal and prevent you from killing your target. So very important. Divine Purpose, 2 points. 15% chance to cause your next Holy Power ability to cause no Holy Power, and cast as if it has 3 Holy Power. So pretty much any of your rotation, any of the moves of your rotation, pretty much give you a freebie, which means a free Templar, a free heal, a free Inquisition. You know, take your pick, whatever you need at the time. Moving on. Inquiry of Faith increases the periodic damage of your Seal of Truth by 30%, and the duration of your Inquisition by 200%. Excuse me. Pretty much another one that's pretty much required. Seal of Truth's up all the time. Why not have it more damage? Inquisition's going to be up when you're doing your burst, and along with an increased consistent damage. So longer Inquisition, less Holy Power spent. Let's do it. Next up, I only put 1 point Acts of Sacrifice because you only need 1 point to have the remove movement impairing effect on yourself by cleansing. So no point having 2 points in it because it pretty much just reduces the cooldown and mana cost of your Hand of Freedom and Salve and Sacrifice. Not a big deal. It's about 2.5 seconds. And I'd rather get another point in something else, like Guardian's Favor or something. Moving on. And the last one's Zealotry, pretty much self-explanatory. Pretty much every time you use Crusader Strike, you get 3 Holy Power, and I pretty much rack it up with my Avenging Wrath, and that'll give me a kill when it comes to bursting a target. Very important. Okay, now the splash talents. I put 2 points in Protection Tree. Seals of the Pure. Increases the damage done by your Seal of Righteousness, Seal of Truth, and Seal of Justice by 12%. Again, you're going to have Seal of Truth up all the time. Why not give him more damage? Let's move on to the Holy Tree. I put 2 points in Arbiter of the Light. Increases the critical effect chance of your Judgment and Templar's Verdict by 12%. Now, for Paladins, crit is very important when it comes to burst, because when we crit, and we do tons of damage when we crit. So why not have it? Next up, 3 points in Judgments of the Pure. Your Judgment increases your casting and melee haste by 9% for 1 minute, and your mana rejection from Spirit, which is not too important about the Spirit part, but you know, the 9% haste is good, and we gotta get it anyways to get down here. So that's why I go into Sanctity of Battle. Might as well make my Crusader Strike a little bit faster, right? Last one, we go into Last Word, which is 2 points and gives your Word of Glory a 60% chance to crit on targets with less than 35% of health. So this comes in very nicely with Selfless Healer and Sacred Shield. Pretty much when I'm low in health, 30%, Sacred Shield comes up, yes? And then I would Word of Glory myself along with the Sacred Shield on, which is 20% extra healing, and Avenging Wrath, which gives me another 20% additional healing. And if Word of Glory crits, it could almost mean a full lay on hands heal type. Pretty much around 80k, very overpowered, and saves your life. Let's move on to Glyphs. Now what I do is I go into Glyph of Word of Glory, which increases the healing done of my Word of Glory by 10%. Now, I use this just because if my DK partner is taking tons of damage and there's no healers on him, I'm pretty much become the healer. So I use my Holy Power along with my Selfless Healer talent to heal him up and keep him alive so we can get a kill off. Pretty self-explanatory. Next up, Glyph of Seal of Truth. Seal of Truth and Seal of Righteousness also grant expertise while active. Now, since you need quite hefty expertise as a ret or any type of class that needs a two-hander, why not have free 10? You can get some extra mastery. And then the easiest one you want to get is Glyph of Templar's Verdict, which pretty much makes your Templar's Verdict hit 15% harder. Why not? I go into Glyph of Hammer of Justice, which increases the range of Hodge by 5 yards, and Cleanse, which reduces the mana cost of Cleanse by 20%. Now I use this because usually when I go up against Unholy DKs or any type of Frost DK, any type of any type of DK that snares a lot, I have to cleanse a lot because I have to freedom my DK partner so he can get the necrotics on our target while I'm behind, cleansing off the stuff and taking hits. Pretty easy. Next up, kind of really important, is Glyph of Turn Evil, which reduces the casting time of your Turn Evil spell by 100%, but increases the cooldown by 8 seconds. Now this is pretty helpful when you're fighting against warlocks. You can use it on their pet, or any type of summoned pet. So, like, if you're fighting a Demonology warlock and he sends his Felguard on you, you just fear him away. He'd probably use a taunt to get him out, but, at least he has to waste it. And the minor glyphs aren't really that important, as well as the major glyphs. They're really, you can really choose. It's up to you. But you gotta have Glyph of Turn Evil. Next up, I'm gonna go on to my stats. What you need to have is 5% hit for PvP. Now there's no set crit chance, but I stay around a good 5%. Kind of decent for a ret. So, no complaints there. Expertise has to be at a perfect 20. Keeps you from getting parried and dodged from pretty much anything that can dodge or parry. Now, except for a rogue or a Pharaoh Druid, because they have evasion, and the Pharaoh Druid has a bear form, which can increase dodge, parry a lot. Excuse me, just dodge. But since Crusader Strike is the only thing that gives us holy power, I pretty much use it all the time to keep my holy power up, and it really saves my ass when we're doing games. So, next up is Mastery. Mastery is very important when it comes to ret PvP. Now, it just pretty much makes your Templar's Verdict and Crusader Strike, along with Divine Storm, but you don't use Divine Storm, deal additional damage as holy damage when you hit the target with said move. Now, what I do is I reforge most of my stuff into Mastery. I kind of avoid haste. I kind of actually reforge out of haste because it's useless. And I do reforge out of crit into Mastery because I'd rather have more damage than a chance to do more damage. But still, you don't really need a lot of crit because 5% plus 15%, 20% decent. So, along with the 12% for Templar's Verdict. Templar's Verdict, additional 12, Crusader Strike, 20%. So, it's a decent amount. Similar to a Norms Warrior. And I have around 4.1k resilience, and that is because I am using a 2-set from the LFR, which gives my Judgment ability an additional holy power, which is very important and kind of really saves me in a few arena games, because if I can't get to my target and I have to heal my DK partner, it saves lives a lot. That extra holy power really helps, especially when we're going for burst. And that's about it, guys. This is my first video. Please be kind, rate, comment, subscribe. Please leave questions in the comment box below, and if you like this, subscribe and you'll see some more videos. Alright guys, take it easy.